Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars and welcome to another of my triple reviews. Now the triple review I thought I would focus on this time is the three Gerard Butler action films, the Fallen films as they are now known. Olympus Has Fallen, London Has Fallen, and the most recent one, Angel Has Fallen, that came out last year. Now I'd never seen these movies before and I picked up the first two a couple of weeks ago, and I showed them in my last collection update, and I hadn't seen them before, and I've watched them all now with my wife. I've even picked up the third one and watched it, and I thought I'd do a triple review because I've got to be honest, I really quite enjoyed these. Really fun action films. Nothing overly special. They're not going to win any, they're not like John Wick's, revolutionary action films, but very well made and enjoyable action films. So I thought I'd give you a brief review on each of them, starting with, of course, Olympus Has Fallen. And this one was released in 2013, and it was a bit of a box office hit. It made 170 million worldwide on a reasonably modest budget. And this one has been described as Die Hard in the White House, and that's a reasonably fair description of it. I remember watching it with my wife and saying this is actually one of the best Die Hard clones I think I've seen. And this one focuses on Gerard Butler, who is a Secret Service agent who goes through a tragic event in the sense of the president's wife is killed and he's involved in it. He couldn't save her, so he kind of ends up leaving the Secret Service and working for the Treasury Department, I think it is. Aaron Eckhart plays the President of the United States. There's some kind of conflict going on with North Korea, and they decide to do an assault on the White House on American soil, and they end up taking over the White House, kidnapping the President, and the only one who is left alive in the White House building is Gerard Butler's character, who ends up going on like a killing spree to try and save the president and stop these terrorists. It's a quite simple plot going on here, but it's really well executed. I was really quite blown away by this film. It was hugely entertaining. It's one of those that's, the events are so unbelievable it kind of leaves your mouth aghast as to, God, what if this sort of thing ever happened in real life? And they really managed to get that across, and it was quite fun and tension filled at times, this film, and some of the explosions and stuff are really well done, and I think the action's really well done. And the character that Gerard Butler plays, the Secret Service agent, is like this. He's almost like an anti-hero actually, because excuse me, I've got something in my eye here. He's almost like an anti-hero in a sense of he's not your Captain America type character. He's not cookie cutter. He's really quite brutal, and he does not mess about with these terrorists. When he gets a chance to take them down, he takes them down. He tortures them. He even goads the leader of the terrorists over the radio, very much like John McClane does in Die Hard with what he does over the radio. Doesn't go as far as say yippee-ki-yay in this one, Gerard Butler, but you might as well have. And it does follow a very similar blueprint to Die Hard. Some of the things that happen in it, you think, well, that is very Die Hard. Even in the sense of they try and send this team in to help who are taken out very swiftly. All very Die Hard. Obviously we've got Morgan Freeman. It's very well cast, this film. We've got Morgan Freeman, who plays like the Speaker of the House. We've got Angela Bassett in this film, and a lot of recognisable faces. Now I'm going to give this one an 8.5 out of 10. I was really quite impressed with it. I found it super entertaining. Both me and my wife did, and we decided after watching this we were going to watch the second one straight after the following night, London Has Fallen. So yeah, 8.5 out of 10 for me, this one. I'm really glad I've seen it now. I avoided it when it first came out because I didn't think I was going to enjoy it that much, but I'm certainly pleased I've seen it now. And that leads us quite nicely on to London Has Fallen. Here we are. And this one was released in 2016 and was an even bigger box office hit than the first one, made even more money worldwide. And in many people's eyes, from what I've seen and read, this is the least favourite of the three films. But I've got to say, I quite enjoyed this one as well. Yes, there's plot holes in this, well, in all three of them, that you could drive double-decker buses through. But they are very, very simple action films that you just detach your brain and have fun with. And if you go into it with that mental attitude, you're going to enjoy these films. That's all I'll say. Now, obviously, because I'm from the UK, I was quite looking forward to seeing this one to see what they were going to do with it. And essentially, the storyline here is the British Prime Minister has died, and there is a state funeral taking place that all the world leaders are going to attend from around the world, including Aaron Eckhart, the President of the United States, and he comes with his team of Secret Service agents, including Gerard Butler. And there are a bunch of terrorists, once again, that decide they're going to try and take down London and take out as many of these world leaders as they can in retaliation for what they saw as an unjust drone strike on their on a family wedding which you see at the beginning of the film. So they bring London to a complete standstill, these terrorists, and they are aiming to take out all the world leaders, including the President of the United States, who's once again played by Aaron Eckhart. And Gerard Butler has to try his best to keep him alive throughout this film. So it's not set in a building, it's not set in the White House, it's on the streets of London, and they've got to try and keep alive during the events of this film. Now, again, I found this one really, really enjoyable. Like I've said, yeah, there are some ridiculous moments in it, but there are ridiculous moments in all three of them that if you wanted to, you could pick apart very, very easily. But the action, I thought, was very, very good in this, and I thought it was even more brutal in this one. Gerard Butler's character, there's a scene where he absolutely brutally takes down this terrorist, goads the other terrorist over the radio, and Aaron Eckhart's character, who witnesses this, actually says to him, "Was that really necessary?" And Gerard Butler simply says, "No." Which I thought was brilliant. He's not a hero in these movies. He just kind of does what he needs to keep himself and those who he is in charge of protecting alive, and that's what I really like about his character. He's not your cookie cutter American hero type character. So very, very enjoyable still. Yes, plot holes all over the place, but still mindless fun. 8 out of 10 for me, this one. I did enjoy it, as did my wife, which led us then to go out and get, fairly soon after, Angel Has Fallen, which we have now got. Yeah, I went out and got this one. You can actually get the box set now with all three of them on. Now, Angel Has Fallen was released last year, 2019, and it was a lesser box office hit, but it still did quite well worldwide when you consider it only had a $40 million budget, which was quite good for a third mover. So it probably still was profitable, I would suggest. And this time, the storyline that they follow here, they go for something a little bit different, which I really, really liked. This time we don't get Aaron Eckhart in this film. Morgan Freeman is the President of the United States, who's been in all the films. And Gerard Butler is once again his Secret Service agent. Gerard Butler, however, in this one, he's feeling the effects of everything that's gone on in the first two films. He's having insomnia, migraines, his body is basically breaking down, and he's aging, and he's struggling to cope with his body and everything that's going wrong with it. But he's keeping it all to himself. However, there is an attempt on the President's life, and Gerard Butler's character is framed to make it look like he was directly involved in it, so he has to then escape custody and go on the run to try and clear his name, which I thought was a really nice way to change up the format here than what we saw in the first two films. They didn't want to do another, what were they going to call it, Tokyo Has Fallen, or Australia Has Fallen. The direction they took it in, I thought, made a lot of sense to me, and it really, really freshened up this formula for these films. And again, I really quite enjoyed this one. There was some good performances here. I thought Gerard Butler was probably his best performance as this character in this film, because he felt vulnerable. He didn't feel invincible. He hasn't really in all of them, but even less so in this one. And we get Nick Nolte as well, who plays his father in this film, and Nick Nolte was an absolute joy. He's such a fantastic actor, and he really brings some levity to this film, and really helps it in regards to feeling legitimate. And there's some really good scenes between him and Gerard Butler. The twist, if you can call it that, as to who the bad guy is, was a little bit anticlimactic. You kind of figure it out fairly quickly. And there's another guy, another level, with the secret voice over the phone, if you like, and they kind of reveal that a little bit too early as well. So I think it was a little bit anticlimactic in regards to the reveals, but still an enjoyable film for me. And I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, exactly the same score that I gave London Has Fallen, the second one. So as 3 films go, I think you would do far worse for 3 action films. Now, if you want to consider this to stuff like Taken, for example, the 2 sequels for that one aren't particularly well liked at all. So as a trilogy of films, I think this really is you need to be considering to watch if you want a really fun, action-packed trilogy of action films that are quite well made, with some good characters in it, a good cast in each of them, and definitely I would suggest checking it out. I'm really glad I've seen all 3 of them now, actually, and these are films that I actively avoided because I just didn't think they were going to be very good at the first time round. It just goes to show you, really. I took a punt, tried it out, and really enjoyed all 3 of them. So that is my triple review for all 3 of the Fallen films. Definitely worth checking out, guys, if you haven't seen them. Thank you very much for watching. Give me some ideas in the comments for triple reviews that you think I should be doing or considering, or even double reviews, and I will definitely try and get around to them if I can. Thanks for watching, everybody, and of course I'll see you next time for more reviews on Screen Stars.